This is the face of political gaslighting.
Do you even know how much money he has donated to Trump?
And remember, gaslighting leads to control, and control leads to power. And the current people in power tell you that the border isn't open, yet we are seeing literal Venezuelan gangs attacking apartment complexes. We're seeing other illegal immigrants hijacking school buses.
Migrants tried to board a school bus this morning while it was traveling to a school. The superintendent for the Humboldt del Zura Union School District informed parents of that incident.
People that are running for vice president will chant USA.
USA, USA. So you can say it.
I'll try to. And then spit beliefs that the US is inherently evil and white people are all racist, and that we need to redefine democracy, aka be communists.
We can't just worry about protecting democracy. In this moment, we've got to reimagine it with people that look and love like us at the center. And I think for us right now, it's about reimagining freedom and this American story in a way that is more revolutionary than what our founders actually put down on that little piece of paper.
And Democrats will tell you that they are the party for the people. Yet, when I filmed a video in Brooklyn last week asking people if they were voting for Trump or Kamala, interestingly enough, almost all the legal immigrants are voting for Trump, specifically Chinese people. My friend Konstantin said, all you need to know about Western civilization. The people who are the strongest advocates for Western civilization are people like me who have experienced the alternative. People who are the biggest critics of Western civilization have never experienced anything else. Being absolutely gaslit by your own mayor, Mayor Adams of New York City, saying that crime is down in all major categories when it turns out it's the crime reporting that's down. Because that's what naturally happens when you stop arresting and prosecuting criminals. By the way, also Mayor Adams had deployed the National Guard to the New York subway system recently. Crime is one of the major issues surrounding the upcoming presidential election. And because I'm not super well versed on this topic, I wanted somebody who is following on X. Before we get into this, just know that on September 18th in Brooklyn, Blair White is having me as a guest at her live show. Tickets will be in the description below. But I'm super excited for this. I haven't done a live show in like 2 or 3 years. And here is the first ever episode of our new podcast. We don't have a name for it yet, but we will. Dr. Jen, you are an official doctor, unlike Dr. Jill Biden. Zeke, you guys know him on X. Things that are currently plaguing the American citizens, that are worrying Americans, and you are perfect for the crime and law sector of this podcast.
We're so happy to have you. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
You've been a cop for how many years?
18 long years.
18 years. So you get to
You can't be that old.
Yeah, I'm not that old. I'm 46.
You don't know.
You got your start on Twitter by speaking out as a very outspoken black police officer, which people, in 2020 were like, a black police officer? Like, they don't, never mind. Like, if you were a black guy that was criticizing the cops, that's one thing. But you were a black man backing the cops, believing in conservative views. Tweets would go viral.
We thank you for your service. And look, we have our flag right behind
I saw that.
We made sure to have the back of the
made
flag.
sure.
The first story, and I want your opinion on this, is RFK Jr. Mm-hmm. The Secret Service has now ended protection for RFK Jr., which is wild. And it just so happens, guess what? Guess when it happened? Right after he endorsed President Trump.
Robert F. Kennedy.
The independent presidential candidate and possible election spoiler, now a supporter of former President Donald Trump.
And guess who was in charge of deploying the Secret Service to protect him? President Biden, right? So as soon as this guy endorsed his nemesis, Biden was like, nah, I'm good. You can protect yourself, bro. Like, that was it. So this is the story. So it says President Biden, 81 years old, had instructed the protective agency to provide security for Kennedy last month after the failed attempted assassination against President Trump. At one point, Kennedy's legal team claimed to have received evidence of 34 instances of threats or concerning issues against him, which is crazy. 34. And he's not even like an actual threat for the presidency. Like, nobody was really worried about
But he
him.
is a Kennedy. So
But he is a Kennedy.
He's a Kennedy.
But now,
period.
even more so that he's backing President Trump, he probably would need
more
even more protection.
More protection.
And
But
they're
you
not
know, in the
giving it to him.
beginning,
They
that
took it away.
he didn't have protection in the beginning either. He was fighting for protection in the beginning because he
Which
was independent, and they didn't like that.
His protection should have been taken away at all. I think this was completely retaliatory.
100%.
I think if he had come out and said, "Hey, listen, I'm riding with Kamala or whatever.
Oh, forget it. They have
her slogan.
Right. They would have protected.
I think they
him
would have protected them. Yeah, I think this is completely retaliatory, but this is par for the course for the Biden administration. This has been the most retaliatory, most thin-skinned, most because you pissed me off. Now I'm going to make life harder for you, administration, that any of us have seen in a while. Like, is this the government that you want that goes after? Obama went after people with the IRS, and now he wants to hire 30,000 more IRS agents to go after people, which Kamala Harris was a tie-breaking vote for. Like, this has been the most retaliatory, most vindictive administration I've seen in a long, long time.
The funny part is a lot of them are wanting to sign up for more of it, but even more so, these people are flip-flopping on major issues, right? Like, all of a sudden, Kamala's for fracking again. All of a sudden, she wants the border wall. All of a sudden, she's stealing Donald Trump's ideas. No tax on tip. But why do you think that she's flip-flopping on these major issues all of a sudden? Like, for the longest time, she was saying, and her and the whole Biden administration was saying, it's racist to have borders. It's racist to build a wall. It's racist to not allow these illegals into the country and not give them money and not help them fund and forget about our veterans, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you looked at the DNC, they have American flags everywhere. They're saying that she's a border czar, that she's strict, tough on crime.
I compare Kamala Harris to the stripper in the strip club who tells you whatever you want to hear in order to get your dollars out of you. She was losing votes in the polls, and now all of a sudden, now no tax on tips, even though Trump said it first, even though she's the one that cast the vote to put taxes on tips.
Right.
Now all of a sudden, magically, she's against it. Now, before she was against the border wall, her entire administration, the last 3-4 years, has been against the border wall. Now she wants one. She's going to say whatever she has to say to get your vote. And then once she's in office, like the stripper who tells you you're cute and you're handsome and you're her favorite customer and that she only dances for you, as soon as she gets that money out of you, Kamala Harris, as soon as she gets that vote out of you, she's going to go and do what she wants to do. Don't fall for it. Don't believe the hype. Yeah. She's a liar. She's a proven liar.
She's a totally proven liar.
I tell everyone all the time, don't fall for it.
She's a communist.
The original tweet was from April 4th, 2018, and Kamala Harris said, funding Trump's unrealistic border wall would be a gross misuse of taxpayer money. Yeah. And all of a sudden, literally, like this past weekend, she flip-flopped on it. And do you know who Riley Gaines is? She's the...
Yes.
Okay, Riley Gaines does a lot of the men and women's sports things. And she says, if you can't win with your own convictions and policies, just take your opponents.
Yeah.
And did you see what Laverne Spicer, I think she ran for Congress.
I've interviewed her on my podcast.
Yeah, she's great. She goes, oh, hell no, Kamala. She said, your ass had 4 years to build the motherfucking wall. And you didn't do shit but call it racist, and you expect me now to believe that you want to do it if you became president? It's like, this is a bunch of bullshit.
It's such a bunch of bullshit. She's just pandering. Yeah. It's just pandering.
What have you seen as a cop that's changed because of all these things?
I mean, I think you can
talk
to...
There's a huge uptick in crime overall in America, right?
Yeah, because there are no more consequences anymore. The consequences used to be, I don't want to go to jail.
Right.
Now the consequences is, I don't want 2-3 hours of my day to be disrupted.
Yeah, exactly.
It's no longer I'm going to go to jail and stay there overnight for a minor crime, and then have to go see a judge either in the morning, and I'm going to get this ticket or whatever. I got to go to court now. Now it's basically just hey, promise me you're not ever going to do it again. Yeah, I promise I won't ever do it again. I'm going to go do it again. And basically, you have cops now. I've heard tons of cops tell me stories about how they're still doing the paperwork. They're still doing the arrest paperwork. And the criminal that they just finished arresting is back at the precinct to pick up their property. So for the criminals now, it's really just it's just they tell their friends now, I'll see you in a few hours.
Not just New York City. This is like all major blue cities. And this is even in places like London.
London's a mess.
The Olympics, how crazy how crazy Paris has gotten. One of my friends, I'll just call him George. He was the school safety chief officer of all of New York City. He said that it's actually not less crime, because that's what Biden and Kamala and of course the Mayor Adams are saying, that there's actually less crime. He's saying that there's less reporting of the crime.
Yep.
For that very reason, because crime has skyrocketed.
And they're not arresting people because they can't. They don't have the manpower to arrest people.
And they don't have the manpower to arrest people.
You can only lie to people so much. People have working eyes. They have working ears. They see what's going on every day. Whether it's Chicago, whether it's LA, whether it's Baltimore, whether it's St. Louis, They see what's going on in front of them. So if you're telling them crime is down and they're looking at you like, yeah, but I just watched 2 people get robbed on my way to work, they know what's going on. So you can only lie and gaslight the people so much.
I think that they know what's going on more than what they did before, and you're not pulling the wool over their eyes anymore. I think that's where we're at now. And hopefully we have enough people that are not going to want to vote this person into office. And you know what? It's such a shame because, look, as a woman, I would be so proud if there was a tangible woman actually running for president. I would be so proud as a woman and want to stand by that person. But just because somebody is the same as me doesn't mean they have my best interest at heart. Just because she's a woman doesn't mean she has my best interest at heart. Can't vote on emotion. You have to vote on what the person is going to do for you and make your daily life better. She's been vice president for 3.5 years. She's done bull diddly squat. And it's going to be Biden 3.0 if she's in there. She is a communist. And you know what? 50 years ago, if the word communist came up, they would come to your house and take you away. Now people are just like, I don't understand. These kids want socialism. Well, I don't get it. Do they even know what they're signing up for?
Free money, free healthcare, free this. Nothing is free.
Santa Claus. Here's this magical man who's going to come and drop off gifts to your house for free in the middle of the night. And here you go. And meanwhile, parents are like, yeah, nah, I bought that,
Right.
So,
right.
But
what these kids don't realize is they're missing the line at what expense?
Yeah, no, I mean, but it's the same
expense?
thing. No, your college debt didn't just go away. Our taxes had to pay for that.
So we've covered basic city crime. Now we're going to cover government crime and government corruption, because I know you have a lot of thoughts on that as well. As we know, if you follow
Mark
him on
Zuckerberg
X,
looks like a lizard.
He does a little bit, but he looks like more normal recently. I think he's coming out of it. I don't know. So the New York Post just posted this yesterday. Mark Zuckerberg admits that the Biden administration pressured Facebook to censor COVID content and that it was wrong to suppress Hunter Biden's laptop scandal. I said that wrong.
The laptop from hell?
The laptop scandal. What do you think about that? Why do you think he's coming out admitting that he was wrong about all this now? I mean, we've been saying this for like the last 4 years, right? Facebook is being paid, or they were being pressured, or they were
suppressing
it. We didn't know what was going on, but we knew for sure every time the Hodge twins,
they
every
locked
time
down
Candace,
the New York Post,
every time Ben
account.
Shapiro, any people, Steven Crowder, anytime you probably had a Facebook too, and anytime we posted anything that was against the Democrats or questioning COVID restrictions or questioning anything about the vaccine.
Oh, forget it.
We would get demonetized. Our content would TikTok automatically, Facebook automatically. Twitter was like iffy. Mm-hmm. It wasn't owned by Elon yet, but it wasn't as bad as Meta.
It was bad. It wasn't
as bad.
They took away Donald Trump's
They did. They took
Twitter.
away Trump's. Yeah, they did.
A sitting president's Twitter.
They did.
Ariel. That's
right.
bad.
You're right.
That is bad. The president of the United States got his Twitter account banned. I mean, he did say some funny tweets. But however, come on, they were pretty bad.
What would you classify this crime to be? Besides a crime of, if gaslighting is a crime, it's like a psychological crime almost, right? It's like it's gaslighting. It's like, don't believe your own eyes. Even though you're reading about this even though we have proof that this is Hunter Biden's laptop, we're going to censor this. It doesn't exist. It no longer exists.
Huge First Amendment violation.
And it's a First Amendment violation.
I think the government getting involved in telling social media
what you can and cannot see.
Suppress this and don't run this, and that's a huge First Amendment violation.
Right.
So it goes back to what I said before. This administration has done more to hurt the American public than anything I've seen in a long time. This is the type of government our founders warned us against.
Yep.
I'll just say that.
That's true.
This is the type of government who I ask all the time, are we being governed or are we being ruled?
We ran away from Britain because of tyranny and because of the royals. And we're reverting back to that. So instead of having a royal family, the corporations are the ruling class. Think about that.
I don't think it's so much the corporations. I think it's more...
And the oligarchs.
The elite.
It's the elites. Because, do you think
Biden was
the corporations
are part of it, I think.
I think it's more the elites. I think it's more the people who have had their thumb on the government for a while. I think that's why they don't want Trump back in office, because he'll tell them all to go screw.
Yeah.
Yes.
But, because you look at it. Do you really think Biden's in charge? Do you really think if Kamala gets
No.
back into office, you think
No, they're
Kamala
not in
will
charge.
be
They're puppets.
Yeah.
They're puppets.
So I mean, this has been an administration who has done more to censor and restrict the American public than anything. It doesn't surprise me. I think Mark Zuckerberg is trying to cover himself just in case Trump, gets back into office and really opens up an investigation into him. I think
That's a good
point. It doesn't look to me like he was really sorry or.
Of course he's
sincere.
not
I don't
sorry.
think he is. Even though he
This is-
says he was wrong, blah, blah, blah.
He's
not sorry.
I'll put the open letter over here.
This is him throwing the Biden administration
Under the bus.
completely
Under the bus.
Under the bus.
Well, that's what they're doing now. Is they're
Yeah.
totally throwing him out to the wolves now and throwing him into the winds. It's a coup. He's not useful anymore. They don't need him anymore. So now everything that's going to happen now that you see is going to come out, they're going to throw it onto Biden.
absolutely.
That he's
Yeah.
going to
Did
be
you
the
see the
fall
video?
guy.
Did you see the video of Zuckerberg being like, that was the coolest thing ever? But Donald Trump going
Yes.
like this. And after
Yeah.
you
Yup.
see that video, I was like,
Yes.
oh shit. But like, I don't trust
That's
that motherfucker
pandering.
still.
I don't trust him either.
I don't
That's
fucking trust that
pandering.
I don't trust him at all.
I don't trust him at
No,
all.
I don't trust him at all.
There's a lot more scrutiny on cops. There's a lot more people who want to get YouTube famous or Instagram famous by filming cops and be that viral video that goes out. So
Right.
cops, good, bad, or ugly, they got the camera in the cop's face.
What types of people are the majority of people doing this kind of thing to cops? Is it illegals? Is it young kids?
All the above. Leftists of all colors who now want to,
Right.
if they see something going on, the first thing they want to do is like, I want your shield number. I want to know who you are. 2020 riots, which a lot of my brothers and sisters in all over the country, they said it was from everyone, black,
Right.
white, Hispanic, they're all trying to find that one viral moment so that they can have their moment or they want to fight the power now.
Everybody who's come here has had to go through their trials and tribulations. And do you feel that it is coming that there is a lot of victimhood? Do you feel that this is what is happening in specific communities, that they just are just keep pandering this victimhood and saying that they can't do better because somebody else is telling them that they can't do better?
I think it's the easiest thing in the world to be a victim because nothing's ever your fault. If I didn't get that job, it's because they didn't give it to me because I'm black, because I'm a woman. If excuse me, if I didn't get a promotion, it's because I'm black, or I'm this, I'm
gay,
that, I'm
blah, blah,
gay,
blah. I can't stand that shit.
My English isn't up to par with what they think it should be. It's easy to say that. Herman Cain tells a story in Uncle Tom, the documentary, where he said he applied for a position and he didn't get it. And he asked his boss, well, why didn't I get that job? And the boss says, because you don't have a master's. And Herman Cain says, okay, I'm going to go get my master's. And he said he went and he got his master's. And next time promotions came around, he got the job. And he said he actually changed his boss's opinion of black folk and what it was like to work with black folk because Herman Cain disproved everything that he had been taught to believe. And that's the approach I take. If I don't get a promotion, if I don't get a position, if I lose out on an opportunity, well, why didn't it happen? Could it be because I'm black? Sure. But was it because something else happened?
More
than likely, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you improve yourself and get to that next level. And I've had much more success with that approach. I don't let failures stop me. I don't let, if I don't get something, I don't just throw my hands in the air and go, well, I'm never going to get it because I'm black.
Right.
That's the easiest thing in the world to say. What's not easy is to say, you know what, I got to get out there and make myself better so I can get that promotion, so I can get that advancement.
And that's where I feel like most people, that's where it is. They don't want to accept the fact that maybe it's them personally and not them, somebody else, this whole boogeyman against them. I feel like if you don't listen, if you do your job, or if you, let's just say you get the education, you get the grades, you're going to get the job, period. That's what's going to happen. If you are the right person for the job, or if you are the most qualified, that's the person who should get the job. It shouldn't matter what color you are. It shouldn't matter what nationality you are. It shouldn't matter if you're a male or female. It should just matter that you can do that job. That's the way I feel. And I don't feel slighted. Let's just say if I was up against a man for a job, well, I didn't get it because I'm a woman. there's certain jobs I don't want to do. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to be a bricklayer. These women, they want to go out and they want to do every single job. I don't want to do that. These new feminists, I can't understand them. There are certain things I don't want to do. I want to do, yes. Do I want to have the same opportunities in certain fields as men? Absolutely. But there's certain things I don't want to do. And why do I have to compete with a man?
That's a
to
really
do
good
that?
segue into the first first story.
So I feel like that's a big deal. I think that as women too, as the new feminists, I feel like it's like they want no, we don't have to do everything a man does. No, we don't. And there's certain jobs that men do better than women and vice versa.
So
there is.
Taking that point, there's certain jobs that men do better.
Ooh,
I think the best story to talk about when referencing that point is Donald Trump's security. When
100%.
When he got shot.
Oh, you mean the girl who couldn't
that couldn't get the gun out of the thing.
And she was this big?
She was this big. But that's one of the ramifications. That's one of with DEI and all this. It has to be inclusive to everybody, no matter what size you are, no matter what gender. Men are better at certain things. If it was
and that's okay.
If there was a woman that was your size, I'd be like, damn, yeah, I want her to protect me too.
Yes.
And maybe bang me later. But like, that's not how women are most of the time. Like, I don't know any women that are 6'4". How tall are you?
I'm 6'2".
6'2". I knew one girl. I dated
He's
one
like
girl that was
a wall.
6'2". One girl.
I would want him to protect me. I'm
wall.
totally standing behind you and not behind the woman who was protecting Trump. I'm sorry, no offense. She could be a great... she didn't show her, she didn't show a great ability that day, but she could be a great Secret Service, but maybe not on that detail. Maybe not. Let's protect somebody who's 6'4". Right. Why doesn't she protect somebody who's 5'2"? Like, that would make more sense to me.
Right.
Not and because she's a woman and they have to appropriate and they have to put women in these. No, you can't. A 5'1" woman cannot protect a man who's 6'4". You can't do it. It's just not happening. That's the way I feel. And people have to, and for me to say that, I know I'm going to get probably ripped apart for saying it, but I don't care because it's the truth.
It's the truth. So we filmed at the 18th Avenue Feast in Bensonhurst, neighborhood I grew up in, and we asked people Trump or Kamala to see if you can guess by their energy alone, and I guess by their appearance too, if they're indeed voting for Trump or Kamala.
Oh boy.
We're profiling now.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
I'm gonna say he's for Trump. Between the bald head, he's a fellow dark-skinned guy with a bald head and a beard. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Trump or Kamala?
Kamala all the way.
Oh, come on, I gotta.
No, I'm sorry, Trump. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say. Oh my God, you had me nervous.
Ice cream truck guy.
He looked Arab. Was he Arab?
The ice cream truck guy. I don't. It depends on whether he owns that truck or not.
That's a good
actually
point.
my first question then would be: do you own that truck or do you just work?
Nobody's working on an ice cream truck just to work on it.
That's true.
Did you think about that?
I think he owns Trump.
You never know. Some people might, hey, listen, this is it right here. Look at me, He's Trump too.
All right, we got one question for you. It's a big question. Trump or Kamala?
Trump.
How come?
I love Trump.
I love Trump too. Yeah.
You know what? If he's saying it's going to be off the record, that means he's voting for Trump.
God is my president.
You know what? Just
hanging out with the
just
boys
because
up.
we've had 3 Trump voters in a row, I'm going to say Harris.
Trump or Kamala?
Kamala.
How come?
Nah, never mind. Never Kamala. Trump.
You know what? I'll say she said Harris.
Trump or Kamala?
Oh, fucking hell.
You could be honest. I'm not going to judge you either way. If you know the facts, then I could say absolutely you can choose that as an option. But do you know the facts?
No, I do not.
That's the problem, right? You go by what the media says.
Yes, kind of.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
know,
You got to look up their statistics and look up what they actually have done for the country or not, right?
I guess.
I'm voting for Trump.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? Trump's not all that bad. I mean, he was worse, but like, he's better. Yeah.
It's much better. Yeah, baby. Yes. 30 people?
30 people.
And I think 25 of them said Trump.
Yep.
All
Really?
different nationalities.
Wow. Okay.
And anybody that said Harris, they could not give us
could
a
not
reason.
give
And they
any
were
reason.
actually abrasive when we asked why. They were like, we don't have to tell you. Like, oh my God, like, why can't you
Right.
tell us why? Like,
They didn't have one reason.
they had no
Not
reason.
One reason.
I don't know if they were mad because they were like, it was like crickets.
The one woman was like, oh, why we need to give
one
somebody
was
else a
abortion.
shot.
Oh, and then
We
one
need
was
to
an
give-
abortion too.
One was abortion rights, whatever.
We want to do with what our podcast that we're doing now is we want to show. Look, I think we're all. I think I could safely say and speak for the 3 of us. We're probably in the middle, right leaning. I don't think that we're all in the 3 of us are anywhere like this far right crazy right.
You
But
have gay employees. You have
Right.
half of the people
I
that
have
come
gay
to
pride
you.
party.
You
I
have
have a
gay
gay
pride
pride party
parties.
every year.
I have a transgender
my
person
son
that
is
works for you now.
my stepson is transitioning.
Right,
I
right.
don't have an issue with certain things, but however I do have an issue with talking about it to children.
Once you start seeing yourself as an activist, that
Or
supersedes
an ideology, or it's
not
like
just,
a
these people
religion.
who are like, oh, I'm an activist. That supersedes everything.
I've
'Cause
never
now-
called myself an activist. I'm a
Me neither.
content creator.
Me neither.
A content creator.
But once you see yourself as an activist, now you're an activist teacher.
Right.
Now you're an activist this. An activist comes before everything. So now, instead of you being a teacher and just doing your
gets in the way.
job to teach children, now you have to put your activism onto them.
Do you have any parting words? Because we've had you on for quite a while, and I know you have to go to work after this.
No, just thanks for having me. And this was a good conversation. I liked it.
If you guys want to follow Zeke on X, I'll have his link in the description below. And please tell him to start his YouTube channel. He might not be able to do it until he retires from his police officer duties. But he definitely should start a channel because he is a much needed voice in this community, and we adore him. I've been following you for at least 4 years now, right? And this is the first time we finally met in person, even though we live in the same damn city. Let us know what you guys think of the first episode, and let us know
What you want us to call
what you want us to call the podcast.
podcast.
If you're not subscribed to us already, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and we will see you guys back here. Bye.
Have a great day.